Hey guys, Thunderstud here, bringing you a not so new deck with a very new and very cool looking card in GRANDSOIL, the Elemental Lord. So it's a new Elemental Lord meant for the Elemental Sabers. They do very well with Elemental Lords when you're not running Invoked. So Invoked just gives them some boss monsters while they're a little control archetype. But Elemental Lords are also boss monsters for them, and they have an inherent way to search Elemental Lords with Makani. He can discard from the deck with Palace, search just one copy of these boys. That's why we're only running one. We're also running Windrose next to GRANDSOIL. This is probably the best one we have. But yeah, other than that, basic elementals, basic staples. We're running 2 Lapalia, just because we needed more bodies to fuel our effects, and I like Lapalia. We're running Malo to get our graveyard full. All we need are 5 Earth or 5 Wind, so 5 of any monster. And of course, we're running a Makani to search the Elemental Lords, like I said. Other than that, guys, it's basic Elemental Lord plays. What does our new boss monster do? It's 5 Earth monsters. When this card is special summoned, you can target one monster in either player's graveyard, summon that target to your side of the field. If this card leaves the field, skip the battle phase of your next turn. You don't gotta worry about that. But yeah, so when this card's special summoned, target any monster and special summon it. You know, that's incredibly situational, so you're not really relying on that for victory. But he's like a 3k beater most of the time under an Elemental Palace. They're actually 2800. Windrose will just destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls, so that's also incredibly strong. But super situational, and it doesn't negate effects, so you can summon a monster. You're always gonna have a monster in your graveyard because of his inherent need for the special summon. So you're at least special summoning your own monster. You want a real juicy monster from your enemy, of course, potentially with a good effect, because like I said, it doesn't negate effects. So if you're not into Elemental Lords in your Elemental Sabers and you want to stick to Invoked, more power to you. But ever since Elemental Sabers came out, I've been playing around with the Elemental Lords, so I'm really happy to see we're still getting more Elemental Lords, and I'll definitely try them each. Hope you guys enjoy the replays, and thanks for watching. Okay, Dark Signer Rex Goodwin. So why am I using Destiny Draw? Because it's just a good generic skill, and we'll still be Yami Yugi, so they'll think we're doing Sorcery Conduit and running Invoked monsters, when in reality we won't be at all. So it's a nice little deception. Here we're starting with a Malo. We had a Palace, we also have Training, very good varied hand. Our opponent's using Valhalla to special summon a Nastin. We're gonna bring out a Molehue with our Training, flip that Nastin face down before any other cards get into the graveyard to utilize his effect. Opponent ends his turn. We're gonna Training away our Molehue, throw away the Molehue for a Mana Key. That lets us search our GRANDSOIL. Now Lapalia, switching all our effects. I'm so glad this replay shows you quickly, because in game that takes forever to switch all those monsters to Earth. So we swing in at that monster. We could only kill him with the GRANDSOIL, and he used a Tez to protect him, so we couldn't do anything further. He picks on our Mana Key, but now we're full power because we didn't have to switch all our monsters' effects. We were gonna get even higher, switching that Lapalia with to Divine and stuff like that, because then we get even more attack. Our GRANDSOIL would be over 4k, guys. Absolutely crazy. Okay, facing an Aster Phoenix this time. Going first. Okay, we're using Elemental Lords. We're using Elemental Saber Maho. That puts 2 in our graveyard really quickly, guys, and we already have a Windrose in hand. We're gonna do it again, 2 more in our graveyard, filling up with monsters. Now we get Elemental Training to bring out Makania. Guess what, guys? That is 5 monsters in our graveyard, and a means to search our monsters. We're not going to search it right now. We're going to use Windrose first. Windrose is going to destroy all that back row, but not before a Canadia. So we get hit by Canadia, 2200 defense, and a lot more with Elemental Lords, or with Palace, so it works out really well. We get to dump another Lapalia, search our GRANDSOIL, flip up that, start switching everything to Earth real quick. And here comes the GRANDSOIL, guys. No room to special summon a monster, but we still had two 3200 monsters ready to swing at this guy. He chooses to scoop. Great stuff, guys. Okay, Lunas and Umbra. We're going second. Here we have a nice hand. Could be better with a Palace, but we still have plenty of monsters in hand. Our opponent threw out a Decider thinking it'd probably do pretty well, but it was nothing for a Mohu. Here he summons a Drill Dark and a in defense Celestial. Can't get over the 1900, so he definitely can't get over the 2100. Now he can't use spells, but now he can because he doesn't know we don't have monsters in our hand. Look at how quickly we're filling up our graveyard, guys. So we used Mohu's for 2. We have the Lapalia and the monster Retributed to get the Lapalia out, so that's 2 more. Now we just need 1 more in the graveyard, and guess what? We're going to Econ Take to get our 5th in the graveyard. Now we change all 5 to Wind. Real fast. I wish you could do it that fast somehow. Then we special summon our Windrose, destroy that back row, which was a Forbidden Chalice. Then just swing for lethal, guys. Lots of damage, quick duel, and really fast way to bring on an Elemental Lord. Like, there's no way faster. Absolutely crazy. Okay, here's the mirror match, at least character-wise. Going first. Okay. We start with a Palace of the Elemental Lords. We get our Monarchy, Makani. Then we search our GRANDSOIL as our first turn play, set an enemy controller. Our opponent's double sets. We're going to search for another Elemental Lord, guys. So we have our 2 boss monsters, and we already have 2 monsters in the graveyard. Normal summon our Lapalia. So now we're stopping spell cards. Our opponent used a Spy, brings out a Spiritualist, but tries to use Necro Valley. Lapalia can stop Necro Valley, guys. So he blows his 1 Necro Valley, did not actually have a follow-up Necro Valley, which means he can't use a fusion. He normal summons a Descendant. That lets me use my enemy controller to take the Descendant before he's able to use any of his effect. He uses a Throne. Throne would have been a perfect way to waste my Lapalia. Here we get Makani again to search a Mohu just to dump our graveyard. Now we have 5 guys. We're going to start with Wind to get rid of that 1 back row, and there's really no monster in our enemy that we want to special summon. Here we get hit with a Canadia. That's okay on our Windrose. We normal summon a Mohu. 1500 Suicide into the Spiritualist. It's just left with a defense mode Spy. He gets a Headman, special summons his Descendant. I'll immediately use Mohu to flip him face down. No Descendant effect again. Sets another back row though. We flip up our Windrose. He takes the bait. Now here comes the biggest boy, switching them all to Earth, but he scoops before we're able to bring out the GRANDSOIL, guys. Great stuff. Okay, here we are facing an Arcana. Going first. 21 cards from our opponent using Power of Dark. We start with GRANDSOIL in our hand this time. Use our Elemental Lords. Don't do anything further. Our opponent sets a monster. Forbidden Chalices me. Now the beauty of Mohu's effect is most of it's a cost. So we're still going to be able to dump our monster with Elemental or Palace of the Elemental Lords. We just don't get the flip face down, which is perfectly fine with me. Now we get the flip face down. We have 2 monsters in our graveyard, getting that counter up for our GRANDSOIL. Here our opponent chains his effect to switch his field spell, but he has no cards in his hand, so we normal summon another Mohu, use the Canadia and then a Mirror Wall to protect him by 50 points, guys, just barely. So he gets to use this effect again, keeps his Mirror Wall, sets another back row. We're gonna chain our effect, put him face down as soon as he flip face up, or to attack I mean. Now we're big enough to get him. He uses another Canadia. Doesn't chain that first Canadia for some reason. And now we're still able to swing over him with that 700 defense. Loses that mirror wall. Whatever he top deck did not help him. Had to scoop. Great stuff, guys. So as you can see, we didn't even use an Elemental Lord there. That was all just Elemental Saber control. So they're that good. And you just tailor whatever boss monsters you want around them. People love Invoked. Invoked was the best boss monster for the deck. Invoke's not as popular, and we're getting new Elemental Lord support. So, you know, which way are we going to go? But other than that, it's not a very strong effect on GRANDSOIL. I'd say Windrose is probably still the top dog. But I love creative monsters for Elemental Sabers, guys. It's great stuff, and thanks for watching.